Hello everybody, my name is the Critical Wizard, and welcome back to another edition of Critical Critique. Today we're going to be starting off the new year on the right foot. So, the movie I've chosen to review today is The Yellow Submarine. The Yellow Submarine is the third Beatles movie that was released, the first two being A Hard Day's Night and then Help. A little background on this movie, the Beatles realized that because the Beatles had signed a contract, part of their recording studio they worked for, Apple, and they were like, oh, you guys are required to make at least 4 movies. And after the first 2 movies, the Beatles really didn't like filmmaking. They were like, man, we have to be on set all day, it takes up so much time, and it's just, they were like, they didn't want to do another movie, but their contract was like, you gotta make another movie soon. Someone, I don't remember who, I think the guy's name is Lee Minoff. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But he approached the, record company, Apple, and said, I have an idea. I want to make an animated Beatles movie. So Apple told him, no, that's a stupid idea. No one wants to see that. And they thought about it for a bit. And they're like, all right, we'll talk to the Beatles and see what they think. So they go to the Beatles, and, the Beatles hear this idea, and they're like, we'll have our third movie requirement, and we won't have to be in it. Yeah, let's do it. And the only thing they had to do was write a couple of new songs for the movie. And they were like, we can definitely do that for you. So, production started. When the test screening came out for the Yellow Submarine movie, record company Apple was just absolutely, floored. They were like, this is so good. And then they showed, a couple of, other, test screenings, and all of them were like, this is so good. They released it to theaters, and everyone was like, this is so good. So, a movie that, almost, really wasn't in, production became one of the most, influential animated films of its time. Partially because the Beatles were so influential, but still, it is any wonder that I find this movie amazing. So the story of the movie is a pretty weird one, but it's the Beatles, so you're expecting it to be a little weird. Essentially, there are these creatures called the Blue Meanies, and they are attacking the people of Pepperland. That's what it's called. It's not on the back of the box. But the Blue Meanies are attacking the people of Pepperland by sucking away their spirits and, making them unhappy and just, these basically stone statues. So, Captain Fred flees the Blue Meanies to go get help, to, because their band that could just, get rid of the Blue Meanies was frozen in, a black hole time bubble thing. So he jumps into the Yellow Submarine and flies off to go get help. Then, one by one, once he gets to our, world, he starts recruiting the Beatles. And then, once he has all the Beatles, they go back in the Yellow Submarine, and they're trying to get back to Pepperland, and they have a lot of threats along the way. And eventually, they get there, they save the day, and they actually end up, becoming friends with the Blue Meanies. All in all, it's a very strange movie, but again, that's something you'd expect from a Beatles, animated movie. Or the animation was, it was really good for the time. There were talks of, making a updated version of the Yellow Submarine movie. Let's talk about the music of the movie. Obviously, the Beatles wrote a lot of, they used some of the already recorded songs, a lot from the album Sgt. Pepper, hence Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, but there was also a lot of new music written for the movie. I really think that this is a fantastic film, and if you haven't seen it, you're depriving yourself. You should go see it. It's an awesome film. But, that's just my opinion. And this time it happens to be shared by a lot of people. thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like to let me know. And if not, that's alright, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye!